Slide off, kid. Slide off, kid, and let a grown man finesse it.
Hey guys, this is the Baron back again. So today, this video is all going to be about the third DLC set for Battlefield 4, which is going to be Naval Strike, where the plot is the Chinese Armada takes the fight to the sea. Now I understand that some people aren't really interested about the DLC. It is way too early to hear about it, and the game hasn't even been released yet. But what I like to do is to get my ideas out bright and early, see what you guys think, and hopefully have some of my concepts put into the game. So if you are afraid of future spoilers, don't watch, easy as that. Now, as we all know, the DLC focuses on all-out naval combat, and we can already see that DICE are really pushing naval into the game, trying to make it like a standard thing, and from what I've seen, they've almost made it perfect. Again, this video will be all about from what to expect from the DLC, and I will be covering a lot of things, including game modes, levolution, gameplay, new vehicles with new equipment, and other little bits that we may see. So let's jump straight into it. Now I'm quite sure, even though this will be naval based maps, there will be some form of all types of combat, whether it be air, infantry, and maybe even land, with all the classic game modes which we have played in the past. Though I have the feeling that each DLC will present a new game mode to Battlefield 4, which Battlefield 3 did. The most immediate concept that came to my mind, much like the Armored Kill DLC and Endgame DLC, is to introduce boat superiority. Now we all know what this is: boat v boat combat, large boat counts, one flag in the middle of the map, spawn in the boat, fight over to gain dominance of the flag. Now I actually think they should also put in other naval vehicles as well, mainly the jet skis and small attack boats. Obviously they're the only vehicles, naval vehicles we've seen so far. I think they could offer advantages by causing distractions to enemies, or using them to bail out of a boat, the bigger boats, and using them offensively as a quick alternative, so you'd be able to shoot the boats if you want with your assault rifle or your RPG if you're on the back of a jet ski. Now I would love to see gameplay like that, so that's one mode down. Another idea I had, which is more of a fun game mode to play, is to have a hold the flag type game mode. And this would just fit perfectly with any map really, any map from any DLC from the vanilla, just like a standard game mode really. But specifically with this theme of the naval theme, only having jet skis and small attack boats being used could make this game mode like into a fast-paced tug of war. So the flag would be present in the middle at the start. Each team must fight over it and collect it. Then the player and his team must work together to hold the flag for as long as possible to gain points for the win. First team to gain a certain number of points wins the game, obviously. Even though this idea is really out there, I would just love to see gameplay on raging seas with teams struggling to get that flag back. You got like guys on jet skis shooting at each other. You got attack boats trying to get it back. It'd be really good to see. So that's it from my side for the game modes anyways. If you got any ideas for naval game modes, tell me below. Next on the list, of course, is levolution. Now if you have already watched my earlier videos, you know that I've had quite a few ideas for the vanilla game and the second assault DLC, so go check those out if you are interested on my channel. Of course, adding dynamic weather will play a huge part in gameplay for the Naval Strike DLC. You got raging storms, rain, high winds, all causing huge waves, blowing stuff over, objects being destroyed. We've seen it all really. The obvious levolution concept to occur is, again, like Paracel Storm, is to have the battleship crash into something or anything, or just explode really. If you're in the way, you will die. But how would this change up the map? Nothing I can really see off the top of my head. So what else could we have? I really can't think of anything that fits, like it just fits the naval combat, if you get me. So I'll tell you my plot based ideas. So there's ideas that maybe have like a story behind it. That's not really like a story, but it's just like that little glimpse into a story. First, a battleship or aircraft carrier gets damaged by players, so it will be a player triggered levolution. The battleship or carrier misfires a tactical nuke and it heads straight for a portion of the map. If you are in the area, you die. Simple as that. If you are around the area, you will feel the brute force of the shockwave and the waves themselves hit your boat or hit your character or whatever. It changes up the map for a certain amount of time, using the waves as a shockwave to go across all the map. I'm thinking this could happen multiple times if there are multiple ships, so you can have like multiple player based triggers, levolution. So that'll be cool to see. Next is the battle takes place under multiple sea-based oil refineries. Destroying one set sets off a chain reaction explosion to the others, so it's like a constant chain reaction between each oil refinery. It kills everyone in proximity. It also leaves a cloud of dust and oil in the water, which spreads, maybe there to slow and stop progression of naval boats. I really like that idea of having that oil like kind of seep into the water, and if you happen to drive into it with your boat, you're gonna get stuck or at least be slowed anyways with that. So that'll be cool to see. And finally, another really cool idea. From the very start of the game, a battle of large naval ships take place, firing at each other, slowly coming at one another, so just like in a real battle would happen on the sea. Players must avoid all areas of effect and fight a smaller battle below the huge ships. The battle will be scripted, so players can learn routes to avoid the scripted danger. The levolution aspect would be is constant, so the scripted event will be constantly, like the two boats will be constant, or the multiple boats will be constantly attacking each other, but it is avoidable. Now that would be really cool to see. You have each of your flag points set on a boat, or maybe set on an island, so you have to fight your way through all the boats, or just avoid the boats altogether to get to the island, to the flag. So that'd be cool to see. Now obviously this DLC will not just be a naval based. I'm sure there'll be some sort of like islands, as I said, the oil refineries or the battleships that may act as a flag or an object on the ground. The maps will not just be water and waves and weather. So let's just clear that up really quick. Now finally onto new vehicle additions. We already know that there will now be submarines in Battlefield 4, but we don't know now if they either act as like a normal vehicle does, like a tank, so you can move it around and shoot and stuff like that, or maybe like a gunship where it can't be controlled, and maybe that instead of a gunship it fires off artillery, so it makes it a little bit harder. I would love to see the submarine controllable, however. Being able to go underwater and destroy players with torpedoes, which brings me to my next point and next new weapon addition, which is torpedoes. I'm not going to sit here and explain the torpedo concept. You guys know what it is, really. You lock on the boat, or you lock on the submerged object or vehicle, and then you fire at will. Simple as that. You wouldn't be able to obviously hit individuals in the water, like so player characters in the water. That would be kind of stupid. We could also see the jets having torpedo launchers as well. So the fighter bombers. So there's two jets now: the fighter bombers and the jets, the normal jets, the air-to-air combat jets. So having the bombers have torpedoes would be a cool thing to see as well. Now this one is out there, but I would just die if I could control a large battleship. That would be amazing. I would have the battleship, if you guys don't know, the huge one that crashes into Parasol Storm, something like that, control that. That would be amazing to control. Now, the battleship would have multiple seats, of course, for the gunners and passengers and everything else. And facing off against another battleship would just be so great. Like, just imagine if you saw that in a game and there were just two players doing that. I could really see this implemented into the game. It would be somewhat balanced, I guess. It could only target the larger stuff, the battleships. It would be incredibly armored, but abnormally slow. It wouldn't be able to target players right below them, so players have that chance to sink it with explosives. So you put your C4 on like certain weak points, and they will create holes in the battleship, make it sink, so stuff like that. I don't know, this is just an idea, nothing more. Torpedoes is also a given weapon for these things, as well as having artillery weapon types similar to weapons on the artillery launcher in Battlefield 3, so it kind of gives that balance, so they're not that overpowered. And that's it for my ideas. I hope you enjoyed. Remember, if you have any ideas of your own, let me know in the comments below. A like and a sub couldn't hurt either. I seriously can't wait for Battlefield 4, and this game is going to be so much fun. Thanks again guys, and I'll see you soon.